Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Chief Justice, fellow justices and retired justices who've honored me by coming, our fellow dignitaries who've come, I am so grateful for all of you who have taken the time to come, and many of you I know are watching online. I feel very privileged. I feel like I've been able to attend my own wake while I'm still alive, because you normally don't hear stuff like this until it's too late to hear it. So I feel very, very special that I was able to hear some of these things by many, many friends. I just feel so grateful and so blessed. Missionary kid, growing up, I actually felt privileged growing up the way I did because we had the only car and a really nice house compared to Thai people. I went to a private boarding school. Yeah, it was a missionary-run boarding school. It was pretty stiff and tough, but I just never felt deprived at all. And when I came to America, this great country allowed me to go to college and to go to law school without any money, and yet it provided those resources. And so, and then becoming the first woman, I could tell you lots of stories about that. Some of you have heard some of them, but yet I always believed that I was able to, by not wearing a chip on my shoulder in being the first woman in many of these things, was able to pave the way for other women to get there as well. My parents made me believe I could be anything I wanted to be, except president, because there's still a debate as to whether you have to be born on American soil or not. But I was happy with the job I had. Jack and I first met when I was just in my second race, just finished my second race, and he thought he was getting 6 years of no campaigning. And then the next thing I know, I am appointed to the Supreme Court with a race. I'm appointed in February or March, and I have to win an election in November, and I had never planned to do that. And so this man had never been married before. So he thought it was pretty normal for your wife to get up at 6 a.m., meet some stranger, drive all over the state, come back at 11 at night, and do that for a whole year. And that was our first year of marriage. Because he had no expectations, it worked out really well. But I have to say, there has never been a husband that has been more supportive. For all the times I've been gone, all the speeches I've given, all the work I do, the late hours I pull at home, he has never said, you shouldn't do that, you should be here, you should do this. He has always, always supported me, and I have so been grateful that he has done that. And because of that, I want to support him in this dream for Montana. He looks like a Montana man too, doesn't he? And, here he is, he's a little bit younger than me. You marry a younger man, I outlive him by 0.6 years according to the actuarial table, so that's the smart way to do it. But, he's still learning. He's a firefighter. He's an EMT. He just took the EMT course last year. It was a really tough course. And he's already worked on a woman who broke her back. And so I'm just so proud that he's always doing that. And then these two sons, you've heard how accomplished they are and how proud I am of all the things they've done. And yes, if you haven't had lunch with me yet, you'll probably get the book. It is in my trunk. But they've also married wonderful women. I couldn't have better daughters-in-law that you could have possibly imagined. Accomplished, supportive, just wonderful, wonderful people. And of course, they've produced the most beautiful granddaughter possible in the world up there. But I just feel so privileged that I have them. And I have a wonderful mother-in-law who's here, who I've told repeatedly, even if you weren't my mother-in-law, you'd be my friend. She's just been great, too. So I'm just very, very proud of them, but also proud that they are good people, kind people, people who help other people. I just really think that's so important, and I feel like they make me so proud in that way as well. I don't really know where to start to thank everybody that's in this room. The judges and justices that are here have been a part of my life. I'm so grateful that you took the time to come. Hope and Bob Taft, who really believed in me and helped let me work on the mental health stuff, but that was the start of many governors. Governor Strickland was a big supporter, let me work with his people. Bob Taft was, of course, Vodovich even appointed me, and now I'm working with Yost, and DeWine has been just an immense partner and is still a partner. I'm so grateful for those women giving me the ability to work with all of their agencies and directors in so many different ways. And thank you so much to Terry, because he attended the very first meeting I ever had, where I had 10 people. And I looked at him and I said, I have no budget, no staff, no training, no background, no money. I don't know what I'm doing. The only thing I have a big title and people come to my meetings. And that was literally my first meeting with him. And General Harris for the long friendship we have developed over veterans work together. And the artist, I think he's photoshopped a few wrinkles out of the painting. That's fine by me. But he was very kind to not even do that, but he actually made a picture for me, because the one I was using for my media and everything was 20 years old. And so he photoshopped a suit on that picture for me and also photoshopped out the wrinkles. And so I use that now. And I swear it's a recent picture, so that's what I can tell people. So a lot of friends, as Jack said, we made so many friends. I can't even begin to name them all, but the Millers who are here have been tireless in their work on campaigns, but also in all the veterans. Barb Lewis and Greg Barwell and Steve Tuggan and Sue Marshall were all on my campaign team, became lifetime friends. I have so many mental health partners, I can't even begin to name them, but just a couple that were really the kind of the worker bee people. Mike Sheeline, Carolyn Bevins, and Kara Hertel are my staff people at the AG's office who put up with the countless calls and meetings that I have. Kathy Yoakum at the Department of Mental Health does all of the meetings and organizations with the Mental Health Board. And Kathleen Gallant and her team is the one that always calls you and says, Eve Stratton wants lunch, what do you have available? She's just tireless in that. But sometimes I feel kind of guilty. I feel like I have this very special position with the title behind my name, and I can have people get together and meet and collaborate and work together. But that's the easy job, in my opinion. The harder job are all the positions of so many out here who head these agencies and head these organizations. And Terry, I used to talk to Terry, and I would set a meeting up and meet with the directors. Meanwhile, he was getting 50 calls from families who were desperate for a house, for someone who was getting out of a hospital, and he had the tougher job. And so these are the people that really do the heavy lifting. But I want to give thanks to one more group. These are the people on the very, very front line. They are the first responders, the firefighters, the police, the EMT. They're the military and the veterans who stand strong for our country. But they're the nursing home people, the jail and prison guards and mental health workers, the ones who work in mental health hospitals. They work with the most difficult people, the most troublesome people, the most stigmatized people, and they don't make the big bucks, and they don't make the accolades, and they don't make the big speeches and things like I get, but they are the ones that really do the hard work. And I am so grateful for every one of them that is in the trenches doing that, caring for this population, and hopefully the things we do at the higher level can maybe make some good for them. So I wanted to thank them specially. And I thank my law firm. I've been with them 11 years. I'm now going out on my own, pretty much doing the same thing as I was doing with them, appellate coach. It's a great job. I get to tell them how to write briefs and argue cases, and I don't do a thing myself other than that. And so I'll still be working with them in that regard. But I thank them for funding the portrait. I didn't have any campaign funds left. I had a chalk portrait that was done by a New Orleans artist, and I was just going to give that to the court until my kids said, "Mom, you are not doing that. You are getting a painting." So that's how I ended up with the painting, and they were very kind to step up and fund that for me, so I wanted to thank them for that. So to all of you in the audience, I can't even single out how many I have interacted with and become friends with and had lunch with and partnered with. I thank you for coming and for honoring me by coming. But I just want to warn you that if you have lunch with me again, I'll probably have more homework for you. I'm not done yet. I'm not ready to ride into the sunset. I'm just in the middle of it all. So thank you all for honoring me and for being here. Appreciate it.